Hey, how's it going, everyone? Freddie, we're back again. MPC Live, as well as the Rack Brute with some modules in it. This is kind of like a continuation from one of the previous videos, how I was getting into modular, and I pretty much filled up my first rack with some components that I feel would work in my like workflow or whatever it is. But basically, I'm just using the MPC to trigger some drums and stuff like that. Right here, I have the Arturia key step, and I'm basically using the MIDI out to the MIDI in on the key step, and then the key step is just basically working as a MIDI to CV converter. Of course, I can use the key step to trigger stuff on here for as far as CV goes, but I mainly wanted to use the MPC for this. I actually don't have anything planned for this video. This is just kind of, I'm just winging it. For the most part, I use the Electron Digitact for most of the sequencing as far as the modular stuff, because I feel like I can really utilize all of the extra 8 MIDI channels to control other pieces of hardware, as well as I can just program drums directly on here. And then use the clock on this as the main kind of sequencer. So just to kind of go over the rack itself, the first module I bought was the Nebulae by Qubit, and at its core, it's a granulated sampler. It has some other like functionalities to it, but the highlight of it, I would have to say, is the sampler. What's cool about this particular module is you can adjust the speed as well as the pitch independently. So usually with Eurorack modules, when you have like samplers or sample playback kind of modules, when you adjust the pitch of the sample, it'll also affect the speed, and vice versa. If you adjust the speed, it'll adjust the pitch. And this does it a little bit differently, where you can adjust the speed of the sample, but it won't affect the pitch, and vice versa, which is kind of cool. And then as far as the CV stuff going into it, I just have basically like the pitch and the gate from the output of the key step going into the start input on the Nebulae, as well as I think that's all it's controlling. But I have a loop looped on here. I'll get into it in a little bit. Next to that, I have Mutable Instruments Clouds. This is kind of like a weird kind of delay. This is a clone version. Of course, Make Noise Maths. This is kind of like a multi-function kind of thing. It serves a few purposes. You should watch other people's tutorials on this, because I don't really know how to explain it. Just to the left of that, I have a envelope generator, which is by Pittsburgh Modular. Then next to that, I have the Tip Top Audio Forbidden Planet filter. And then next to that, I have the Pico DSP by Erica Synths. Then the Pico Voice by Erica Synths. And then this is that MST, just like mixing unit, which it comes as a kit, and then you solder it together or put it together yourself with your handy dandy soldering skills, if you have any. And you can have like a little cheap little unit. But I might actually just take this out and just get like a small 6 HP MIDI to CV converter, just so I don't have to use some other pieces of hardware to kind of work as a middleman. I can just directly go into it. Yeah, and then I'm looking to expand, of course. Once you get into modular, you're always expanding stuff. But like I said, I'm pretty new to this. It's been kind of like a learning process for me, but let's go ahead and get into it. Before I actually get into the modular stuff, I just wanted to play some beats on the MPC, because this is, I haven't really been making beats on the computer. After my album dropped, I kind of took a little break of really just making music. Plus I had like a workload of stuff from other companies, so just been taking a little bit of break as far as just making beats. But let me go ahead and mute this, and then we can kind of play some beats out on the MPC first, and then I'll get into the modular stuff. So I'm just drumming this first one, and then I actually have a beat kind of already composed on here. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Let me see if I have that other beat on here. Yeah, here's another beat. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the modular stuff here. Okay, so I have a sample basically already loaded on the Nebulae. It takes this little USB flash drive or any kind of flash drive basically, and you can load samples directly from the computer onto this. And I just usually just grab a handful of samples and then I just put it on the USB drive and then just plug it in. So let's go ahead and this is the dry signal for the sample. And then you can trigger stuff over here as far as... And it's basically just looping. And you can adjust the speed as well as the pitch of the sample with these knobs here. Like it kind of low. That's the original, like when the two lights are lit up like that, that's the original pitch of the sample, and then you can go down. You can also play this in reverse, so let's go ahead and play it in reverse. I don't like it in reverse though. Let's go ahead and put it back to the original. And then just kind of pitch it. And what's cool about this is you can adjust kind of like the loop, basically like the size of the loop. Stuff like that. You can do cool stuff with this thing. And then if you patch like a 1 volt per octave onto the start, you can kind of play it like in chops in a way. But anyway, that's the dry signal going through. Let's go ahead and just kind of patch it through some different stuff here. So let's go ahead and patch it through the filter first, which is what you're hearing now. And then let's go ahead and take another patch cable here and put it in, let's say, clouds. So the output of that goes into clouds. Actually, let's go ahead and put this like this. Oh, let me get another thing here. The output of the filter into clouds. Is that right? Am I doing this shit right? And then, I mean, the output of the filter into the input of clouds. And then the output of clouds will go into this Pico DSP, which is basically running a delay. Here, let me just do the dry signal. So basically the filter is going into clouds. Well, let's start from the beginning. The nebulae is playing out to the filter, then the filter is getting routed into clouds, which makes this kind of weird delay. You can adjust a bunch of cool stuff on here. And then we'll take the output of clouds and put it through this Pico DSP, which is just a delay. But you can kind of kind of get some weird effects, just like turning some knobs, you know, adjusting the filter, adjusting like the gain, adjusting like the feedback of the delay. And then maths, you can we can utilize maths by hitting the cycle button, and it basically generates kind of like this pulse, basically like kind of like a wah kind of effect if you adjust it right. And you can adjust the rise and fall of the you can kind of come up with cool stuff like that. It's weird, which it should be, you know, modular stuff is usually pretty weird. Yeah, let's go ahead and take off maths so you can hear the sample a little bit better. Let's speed this up a little bit. My drumming sucks. Yeah, some cool stuff like that. You can pitch it up a lot too. I don't even know what I'm doing now. Hold on. Speed it up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. That's the cool thing about modular shit. It's like you never know what the hell you're doing. I mean, some people, they know what the hell they're doing, Me, on the other hand, I don't know what I'm doing. Getting too long. So let's just end it there. I mean, there's some beats I just kind of jammed out. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, these aren't scripted or anything. I'm just kind of like just shooting, just for the hell of shooting. But Beyond the Sea of Trees, my new album is out now. You can purchase it on the links below. It's none of this stuff. It's not the modular stuff. It's more like organic. But yeah, thanks again. Peace.